A proof is a convincing argument that uses deductive reasoning. A proof logically shows why a conjecture is true. A two-column proof lists each statement on the left. The justification, or the reason for each statement, is on the right. Each statement must follow logically from the steps before it. The diagram shows the setup for a two-column proof. In this example, we're given the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. We're asked to prove that the measure of angle AEC equals the measure of angle DEB. To set up a two-column proof, we start with a T-chart, statements on the left, and reasons on the right. The first statement is usually the given statement. In this case, that's statement 1, the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. And the reason? It's given. Each statement should follow logically from the previous statements. So here we see statement 2, statement 3, and then their associated reasons or justification on the right, also labeled with 2 and 3, to make it easy to match up statements and reasons. The last statement is what you want to prove. In this case, that's statement number 5. The measure of angle AEC equals the measure of angle DEB. Problem 3. Writing a two-column proof. Proof. Write a two-column proof. Given the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3, prove that angle AEC equals the measure of angle DEB. First, consider what you know. You know the measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. That's given. It's also indicated in the diagram with one arc in each of those angles. Next, consider what you need. You need to prove that the measure of angle AEC equals the measure of angle DEB. Then form a plan. Add the measure of angle 2 to both the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 3. The resulting angles will have equal measure. So we'll set the stage for our two-column proof, a T-chart with statements on the left, reasons on the right. As indicated on the previous slide, our statement number 1 will be the given information. The measure of angle 1 equals the measure of angle 3. Reason? Given. Statement 2. The measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 2. That's going to be important. It seems very obvious and intuitive, but it's important to establish that fact, and you'll see that in the next step. Again though, the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 2. Reason? The reflexive property of equality. Statement 3. The measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2. So notice here we see the measure of angle 2 written twice in this equation, and we have to know that those measures, the measure of angle 2, are equivalent to each other. That's why we had to establish that in statement 2 with the reflexive property of equality. Back to statement 3, its reason is the addition property of equality. Remember, that states that we can add equivalent values to both sides of an equation and still have a true equation. Statement 4, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle AEC. Likewise, the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2 equals the measure of angle DEB. That's by the angle addition postulate. Note that when we combine statements 3 and 4, we can now make the statement 5, the measure of angle AEC equals the measure of angle DEB. That's what we were asked to prove, and that's our final statement. The reason for that is the substitution property, which says that we can take the measure of angle AEC and substitute it into statement 3 in place of the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2, and we can take the measure of angle DEB from statement 4 and substitute that into statement 3 in place of the measure of angle 3 plus the measure of angle 2. Your turn. Part A. Write a two-column proof. Given segment AB is congruent to segment CD, prove that segment AC is congruent to segment BD. And part B, a reasoning item. In problem 3, why is statement 2 necessary in the proof?